High up in the Swiss mountains, where the air is crisp and the scenery is breathtaking, lies a hidden treasure. Tucked away in the lush green valleys, surrounded by nature's splendor, are two small yet remarkable towns, Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle. These towns may seem modest in size, but they hold a significant place in the world. Don't let their size fool you. These towns are super important to the whole world. They are bustling with life and activity, and their influence extends far beyond their borders. Why? They are the heart of Swiss watchmaking. The intricate art of crafting timepieces, known for their precision and elegance, finds its roots here. All the skill, the precision, the artistry, it all comes from these little towns. Generations of watchmakers have honed their craft, passing down their knowledge and expertise. Because they're so special, both towns were named UNESCO World Heritage Sites in 2009. This prestigious recognition wasn't just for their beauty. This wasn't just because they look pretty. It was about something much bigger. It was about their unique contribution to the world of horology and their cultural significance. It was about how the people and the place are connected. The townsfolk and their environment have a symbiotic relationship, each shaping the other. It was about how a craft, a way of life, can shape a whole town. Watchmaking isn't just a job here, it's a tradition, a passion, and a way of life that defines the community. And that's what we're going to explore today. We're going to delve into the rich history and vibrant present of these towns. We're going to travel to Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle to discover how watchmaking became such a big part of them. We'll meet the artisans, visit the workshops, and uncover the secrets behind their timeless creations. To really understand these towns, we need to go back in time. Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle, nestled in the Jura Mountains, have a rich history that dates back centuries. These towns were not always known for their watchmaking prowess. In fact, their journey to becoming the epicenters of horology is a tale of resilience and adaptation. Before all the tiny gears and springs, before the intricate mechanisms that define Swiss watches today, these towns were all about farming. The people of Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle were primarily farmers, working the land to sustain their families. Life was tough, the land was difficult to farm. The harsh climate and rocky terrain made agriculture a challenging endeavor. The Jura Mountains are beautiful, but they're not easy to grow things on. The soil is thin and the growing season is short. But when things are hard, people find new ways to do things. The residents of these towns were no exception. They began to innovate, creating new tools and techniques to make the most of their environment. The people of Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle had to change. They realized that farming alone would not sustain them. They needed a new way to make a living, something that would work in the mountains. The answer came in the form of watchmaking, so they started making watches. It began as a small-scale supplementary activity to farming. During the long winters when nothing grew, they practiced their watchmaking skills. The cold, harsh winters provided the perfect opportunity to focus on this intricate craft. They learned to work with tiny parts. The precision required for watchmaking was a new challenge, but one they embraced wholeheartedly. They became masters of precision. Over time, their skills improved, and their reputation for quality grew. What started as a little extra money became much more. Watchmaking transformed from a side activity into a primary source of income. It became their way of life. The towns of Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle evolved, their identities intertwined with the art of watchmaking. This historical shift not only changed their economic landscape, but also left a lasting legacy that continues to define them today. Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle didn't just change jobs. The whole layout of the towns changed too. Watchmaking needs light, lots of space, and people working together. It's about workshops, not lonely farms. So the towns were rebuilt for watchmaking. Streets were made in a grid, so light could get into the workshops. Homes and workshops were built right next to each other because watchmakers worked closely together. This wasn't just practical. It showed that watchmaking wasn't just a job. It was the heart of these towns. It was a part of everything they did. In the 1700s, watchmaking in Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle really took off. People everywhere heard about the great watches made in these mountain towns. Orders started coming in from all over Europe and even further. Watchmakers taught their kids how to make watches, and each generation got even better. They came up with new ideas and made watches even more complicated. Swiss watches became famous for being excellent and reliable, and at the center of it all were Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle. They weren't just making watches, they were setting the example for everyone else. No story about watchmaking in Chaux-de-Fonds is complete without Daniel Jean Richard. Born in 1665, Jean Richard is like the father of watchmaking in the area. He taught himself how to make watches and changed how everyone did it. Jean Richard came up with the idea of interchangeable parts, something used in all kinds of industries today. This made making watches faster and fixing them much easier. Even after he died, his ideas lived on, inspiring other watchmakers and making Chaux-de-Fonds famous for watches. Even today, his name means quality and precision. But Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle aren't just about gears and springs. It's about the whole culture that grew up around watchmaking. It's about the museums, the schools, everything that supports watches. For example, the International Museum of Watchmaking in Chaux-de-Fonds has a huge collection of watches from all different times. It's like a trip through the history of watches. And there are watchmaking schools that still teach people how to make watches today. These schools don't just teach skills, they teach a love of watchmaking and respect for its history. Today, Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle are still important for watchmaking. Some of the fanciest watch brands in the world are made there, and they keep coming up with new ideas. If you walk through the streets, you can still see the lights of workshops and hear the machines. Watchmaking is still alive, taught from one person to the next, just like it has been for hundreds of years. The focus on quality, the dedication to precision, these are still the most important things in Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle. Lots of people visit Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle to learn about watchmaking and see how these amazing watches are made. There are tours of workshops, museums with old watches, and you can even try making a watch yourself. But it's more than just tourist stuff. It's about seeing a real tradition, a way of life that's hundreds of years old. It's about understanding the love and hard work that goes into every single watch made in these towns. Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle are special places. Nestled in the Jura Mountains of Switzerland, these towns are not just picturesque, they are the heartbeats of an age-old tradition. Here, the art of watchmaking is not just a profession, but a way of life, passed down through generations. They are places where time almost stands still. Not really, of course. The sun rises and sets, the seasons change, and life goes on. But there's a palpable sense of timelessness here, a feeling that the past is always present, whispering its secrets to those who listen. The watches made here are super accurate. Each tick and tock is a testament to the precision and dedication of the artisans. These craftsmen and women spend countless hours perfecting their skills, ensuring that every watch is a masterpiece of engineering and art. But it's a different kind of time. It's not just about the seconds, minutes, and hours. It's about the time invested in learning the craft, the time spent perfecting each tiny component, and the time honored through tradition. It's the time of tradition, of craftsmanship, of a way of life passed down for many years. In these workshops, you can almost feel the presence of the past masters, guiding the hands of today's artisans. The tools they use, the techniques they employ, and the passion they bring to their work are all part of a legacy that has stood the test of time. It reminds us that even in our fast-paced world, there's still a place for patience, dedication, and doing things really well. In a world where everything seems to be about speed and efficiency, these towns offer a refreshing reminder that some things are worth taking the time to do right. So next time you look at your watch, think about the skill and history behind it. Think about the countless hours of meticulous work, the generations of knowledge, and the unwavering commitment to excellence that went into creating that tiny marvel on your wrist. And if you ever get the chance to visit Chaux-de-Fonds and Le Locle, go. You won't regret it. These towns are not just about watches, they are about a way of life, a celebration of human ingenuity, and a testament to the enduring power of tradition. So take a moment, slow down, and let yourself be transported to a place where time truly stands still.